The same basic airframe has been also developed for Special Forces combat rescue, air-to-sea rescue, and anti-submarine operations. Today, from the Rhode Island Army National Guard, we're going to see a formation demonstration of these Blackhawk helicopters. A maximum speed 220 miles per hour. But it is not necessarily the speed that is the most important thing about these helicopters. It is the fact that they can, in fact, hover and land places that no conventional fixed-wing aircraft could ever land. Piloting the aircraft today in the aircraft with call sign Wolfpack 01, flight lead, is Chief Warrant Officer 4, Mike Moran, Lieutenant Colonel Andy Chevalier, Sergeant Dan Fisher, and Sergeant Paul Hanley. In the number 2 aircraft, Wolfpack 02, Lieutenant Colonel Gene Lambrecht, Major John McDonald, Sergeant Ron Spears, and Sergeant Alex Diaz. The number 3 aircraft, Wolfpack 03, is Chief Warrant Officer 4, Mark Inuchilli, Major Brian Hennessy, and Sergeant John Pearson. That rotor disc is 54 feet. The helicopter is 65 feet long and 17 feet high. And fully loaded, weighs 21,800 pounds. That's over 10 tons. Can carry 11 troops, or 8,140 pounds of cargo. The members of the unit, they're located here at Quonset Air National Guard Base. They have been deployed to Iraq. They were there in 2005, and they are deploying again in November to the Southwest Asia area of operations. Kuwait and Iraq. Like the Red Bull helicopter you saw earlier, the pilot's hands and feet are always busy. The cyclic stick, the joystick, controls the left-right banking movement and the forward and backwards movement. The collective in the left hand of the pilot controls the engine speed and also the pitch or angle of the blades, enabling it to go up or down. And at the feet of the pilot are the pedals for the tail rotor, the anti-torque rotor, which controls how the nose of the aircraft points. And in its neutral position with no pressure on either the left or right pedal, counteracts the torque of that main rotor that keeps the aircraft from spinning out of control. Stratford, Connecticut was the home of Sikorsky Aircraft. Where Igor Sikorsky perfected rotary wing flight. First used as an air ambulance in World War II. The helicopter really came into the zone during the Korean War. entered service with the 101st Airborne Division in 1979, and in 1990, they came to the 126th General Support Aviation Battalion of the Rhode Island National Guard. Down on Long Island, in New York, the 106th Rescue Wing flies not only C-130 aircraft, but also flies Blackhawk helicopters that are used in the air-to-sea rescue role. That during the first Gulf War in 1991, they moved more than 1 million soldiers. There's also a medical evacuation version of the Blackhawk helicopter. Final pass. Let me introduce the crews to you once again. The lead aircraft, Flight Lead Wolfpack 01, being flown by Chief Warrant Officer 4 Mike Moran, Lieutenant Colonel Andy Chevalier, Sergeant Dan Fisher, and Sergeant Paul Hanley. Wolfpack 22, Lieutenant Colonel Gene Lambrecht, Major John McDonald, Sergeant Ron Spears, and Sergeant Alex Diaz. And Wolfpack 03, Chief Warrant Officer 4, Mike Inagili, Major Brian Hennessy, and Sergeant John Pearson. The UH-60 Blackhawks has a hoist attached above the cargo door on the left side of the aircraft. That hoist lifts 600 pounds at a speed of nearly 200 feet per minute. A round of applause, please, for your neighbors from the Rhode Island Army National Guard and the 126th General Support Aviation Battalion, the Blackhawk helicopters, the Wolfpack flight. Let's give them a big hand.
You deserve the vote.
Everybody wanted it. And then there was Airshow.
Now, as we continue to be careful about our ceilings, And for those of you who have arrived recently, we are flexing big time, doing a lot of tap dancing up here because the ceilings have been have been this morning lower than legal to fly, and so we got our flying started a little bit late. But they're going up now to do a weather check to make sure we have at least 1,000-foot clearance from the ground to the bases of the clouds so we can put aircraft in the air. Those are the absolute minimum height cloud-to-ground requirement for designated by the FAA for putting aircraft into the air. So I think I heard them say they had 1,100 feet of visibility in part of it, and so we'll be bringing those in, and we'll be back with a lot more right after we take this short break. All right, Rob, this one has nothing to do with fun. Okay. I'd like for that. Sharkskin suit, alligator boots. You cultivate a look that oozes, trust me. You stand behind every car you sell, because if you stood in front and the brakes failed, you'd be crushed.